I did get a little bit overheated, screaming and yelling and playing on the trail.
I'm fucking out of here.
Echoes call from hollow halls, a voice that creeps and softly crawls. Time stands still, the air is...
Davy's Dash is a channel dedicated to camping and outdoor adventures, the kind of content that usually feels calm, easygoing, and deeply connected to nature. But on this trip, that calm didn't last. What was meant to be a peaceful night under the stars slowly turned into one of the most unsettling encounters he's ever filmed. Davy wasn't planning on a full-on camp setup with a tent or hammock this time. Just a sleeping bag, a small fire, and the quiet of the woods.
Anyways, this is what we're looking at. Give you a show of what I'm seeing. It's a beautiful day. I did get a little bit overheated because I was trying to push myself a little bit, and I ended up throwing up on the side of the trail, which isn't always the best, but at least nobody was around, so I don't even know why I'm telling you this, because it could have gone unknown. But I don't like these temperatures, man. Like 22 is like a hot day in Winnipeg, so I'm down here, and this is, yeah, this is a little uncomfortable for me. But I think that's the Lynn River. I'm not sure. It looks beautiful though. So what we'd like to do, like, look at this little spot down here. We'd like to find something like that, I think. But I do have a spot in mind. But yeah, just so much tree cover. I do have the drone on me so that I can scope out where I am and what's around me for this kind of stealth camp.
He wanted simplicity, isolation, and he found exactly that. After hiking for a while, he came across a perfect clearing beside a small creek. The water's steady trickle blended with the wind through the trees.
Well, we have a beautiful water source. I think I'm gonna head over this way because this was like 45-minute, not even a 45-minute walk. This is like 35-minute walk to get here. And you know that I'm scoping out a place that I can kind of call home. Ooh, it's buggy down here though. What do we got? It's beautiful, eh? Look at this. This is all I'm looking for, man. This is all I'm looking for. Like, this is a perfect little camp spot right here. These things will just lay right over. Well, this isn't gonna be much of a video, but we're out just testing gear, and I just want to be out. So now let's find a spot where I can have a fire. Well, we got a shit ton of wood right there, so we're not worried about that. Like, look at this. These two guys are leaned up like that. We have a higher spot right here for the tent, although the trail is just like right there. So let's look on the GPS and see what we got for. Let's walk down here. Let's go. All right, my friends. Well, I've decided to stay here. This is a beautiful spot, and I know it's a beautiful spot. I didn't realize that this is where I was for a few minutes. Excuse me, I have the hiccups. There's only one little slight piece up there, right in those 4 trees, that you can see me from the trail.
It was secluded, peaceful, almost too peaceful. He rolled out his sleeping bag, set his pack down, and began to relax, unaware of how wrong the night was about to turn.
All right, my friends. Well, it is 6:15 p.m. down here, Southern Ontario. It's still a beautiful day. There are some people screaming and yelling and playing on the trail, which is fun. It's all good. But so yeah, we have the pack strapped to the tree, and yep, as far as it goes, my camp is set. there it is. Kitchen, sleeping. So we have the my Coleman bag, which is my summer bag. So I just want to have the smallest one that packs. I have my Thermarest from 2016, my Pro Light regular, and then I just have the footprint for my tent. And that's camp. Oh, I also have my Thermarest Airhead pillow there, and kitchen. Just gonna grab some fresh water out of the river, and yeah, that's camp tonight. That's it. There's no tent, no tarp, no hammock, no. It's just me, the ground, and my nature. So pretty stoked for this one. Yeah, it's been real quiet down here because this is really in between nowhere. Anyways, but yeah, that's me sorted. I'm gonna have a beer. Cheers. And yeah, that's just grab some water, like I said. Dinner tonight is gonna be a freeze-dried meal. I actually stole it from my sister. That she had left over from Algonquin. So I guess I owe her a $20 bill now, but whatever, she doesn't care.
He had camped here once before, though it took him a while to recognize it. The place felt familiar, yet something about it carried a quiet tension, that feeling you can't quite explain, but still notice. As the sun sank below the tree line, the forest dimmed into silence. He lay down on his sleeping bag, the gentle hum of the creek lulling him towards sleep. The camera fades out. Everything seems calm. It should have ended there. A quiet night, a few beers, and the steady rhythm of water nearby. But just after 11 p.m., that peace shattered.
So start showing some fucking respect if you want respect. Do you need my light to help you get out of here?
No.
No? You know how to get out?
Would you mind just giving me a few minutes? I'm still in my sleeping bag.
Why are you in your sleeping bag? You knew there's somebody in a tent here. You knew that. Do you think they're gonna feel comfortable falling asleep in the middle of the night with a fucking stranger 20 feet away? Do you honestly think that? The answer is no. And you wouldn't feel comfortable either, would you?
All right,
no, you wouldn't. Fair enough. Fair enough.
My apologies.
That's fair enough, mate.
My apologies.
Fair enough.
I will push on. All right, well, that's where I was sleeping. Until the homeless man with two fucking goddamn fucking steel pipes come fucking walking into my camp about 10 feet away from me while I was sound asleep. Well, I guess we know who needs his fucking teeth knocked down his fucking throat now, doesn't he? But that will be a battle for another day. That is not our concern tonight. Our concern tonight is being somewhere safe and getting some kip. So, all right, well, I guess we're shoving off. But that motherfucker had better fucking watch the fuck out, because all I should do is just got up and fucking throttle him. But again, he had two steel pipes in his hand 10 feet away from where I was sleeping. And yeah, that's not gonna work for me right now, so let's just fucking go.
Wrapped in his sleeping bag, half asleep, Davy heard a sound, soft footsteps circling his camp. When he opened his eyes, he froze. A figure stood barely 10 feet away, holding a steel pipe in each hand. The man's headlamp shone directly at him, blinding him. And then, just as quickly, the light went out. That's when Davy reached for his camera. What follows is pure tension. The darkness, the sound of movement, and Davy's shaky breathing as he tries to make sense of what's happening. Any sudden move could have changed everything. A wrong word, a twitch, and the situation might have spiraled far beyond control. Panicked and disoriented, he tried to leave the area, but in the confusion, he took the wrong trail and stumbled straight toward a nearby tent. Realizing the danger, Davy retreated, moving deeper into the woods until he found another isolated spot to wait out the night. It wasn't comfort he sought anymore, just safety. He barely slept. Every rustle, every gust of wind felt sharper, heavier. The adrenaline from the encounter lingered until dawn finally broke. Looking back, he pieced it together.
I'm only half an hour from home, I think. Somewhere in there, anyways. Half an hour, 40 minutes, and I'll just have my coffee and breakfast there. So, not a big deal. But yeah, we'll start getting packed up here, get out of here. Especially because now I know that like this is somebody's farmer's field. And yeah, it's time to get off this field. But as far as it goes for last night, you know, oh, every part of me just wanted to throat punch that guy. I mean, honestly. But there's that wind blowing there just a little bit. Here's the thing I know from volunteering with the homeless and drug addicted, and that is that I obviously stumbled into somebody's homeless camp and I didn't know it, because I never would have put myself in that situation. That's not why I'm out, is to go to a homeless camp. I'm out to do my own camp and then go home. But where there's one, there's never just one. And that was the thing that was in the back of my head, was there's got to be more. There's somebody's lurking in the darkness, somebody's hiding behind, and it's their territory, obviously, that I stumbled into. So they know the lay of the land a lot better than I do, especially that time of night. I didn't even know how to get the hell out of there. I had to work it out with my GPS actually to find the damn trail, because it was like my head was like, what the fuck is going on here? Like, why is this guy got pipes, and why is it 11 o'clock at night and he's 10 feet away from me? And thank God I woke up. Like, thank God I woke up before he actually like started battering me with those pipes, because I'd be in a hell of a mess. I'd be in a hell of a mess right now. So thankfully I woke up.
The man wasn't some random wanderer. He was a homeless camper who had been living in that area. Davey had unknowingly set up just a few feet from his tent. Feeling threatened, the man confronted him. The two exchanged words. But thankfully, it never escalated further. Still, the image of that man standing in the dark, gripping two steel pipes, remains etched in Davey's memory. Sometimes out in the wild, the danger doesn't come from nature itself, not from the animals or the weather, but from the people you never expect to find out there. And that's what makes encounters like this truly chilling. Before we go any further, I just want to ask you for a small favor. If you're enjoying the video so far, please give it a like. And if you haven't subscribed yet, now's the perfect time. We recently hit 100,000 subscribers, and that's all thanks to you. Our 100K special surprise was revealed, and we had many positive responses from you. Our next goal is to hit 200K before the year ends. It feels impossible, but hey, it's free to dream, right? Also, there's a hidden word somewhere in this video for you. Let's see if you can find it. Now, back to the video. This video was uploaded on the 25th February, 2023, on the YouTube channel Camp Like a Bune, a small outdoor channel from Belgium. The creator documents himself camping across the Sandy, mostly deep in the forests. But unlike typical campers, Bune has a particular niche: stealth camping. If you're not familiar, stealth camping means spending the night somewhere that's not officially meant for camping. Quietly, discreetly, and usually without permission. It's meant to be thrilling, almost rebellious, but that thrill can turn sour very quickly when you realize someone else has noticed you. On this trip, Bune decided to take things up a notch, attempting a stealth camp right in the middle of a tourist area. And before this video ends, you'll understand 2 simple mistakes that turned his quiet night into something unexpected. Let's see how it all began. It sounded innocent enough, but here comes the first stealth camping lesson. Never pick a tourist spot. Too many wandering eyes, too many curious people, and as Bune was about to find out, it only takes one to ruin the whole night. He started making his way through the area, scouting for a hidden place to camp. You can hear him whispering between shots, waiting for the last few people to leave.
I'm waiting for the people there to leave. Because hey, that's a nice bird. What I was saying, I'm waiting for those people to leave, because in that forest behind them is where I'm going to set up camp. They're slowly leaving. They're taking pictures of the swans. Guys, there is my spot. There, these bushes. The people are gone, so I can enter.
He jokes about the swans, but you can sense the tension. Behind them, that's his target, the forest. Once the crowd finally thins out, he slips in quietly, his backpack tightly packed to avoid suspicion. Finally, he finds it, a small shadowy spot surrounded by bushes, perfectly tucked away, invisible from the trail. At least, that's what he thought. He sets up his hammock, moving fast and silently. A quick tour of his camp follows.
Here's my camp. Behind it is the lake, the pond, and there are lots of geese, plenty of geese. So I told you, here in this bush where I am now, normally I guess there are wild hogs hiding here. Not at this moment. I think they're still asleep somewhere, but it's about time for them to wake up. I'm glad I didn't pick this spot to sleep. I picked this spot to sleep, and we will see what happens in the night. Let's go for a small walk. See if you can see my camp from the other side, the side of the lake. And maybe we'll see some wildlife. We'll see. Let's go. See here, right in front of my camp. I will show you. Here is camp. And right in front of camp, you see traces of wild pigs eating. So maybe I can catch some on camera.
A little too casual for someone hiding in plain sight. It looks peaceful for a moment, but then the mistakes begin. This was where it all started to go wrong. He begins gathering wood, getting ready to make food. And here's mistake number 2, lighting a fire while stealth camping. In a quiet, tourist area, that thin trail of smoke is all it takes for someone to notice. It's like setting off a flare, announcing, "I'm right here." Time passes. The woods grow darker, quieter. Then a flicker of light appears in the distance. Not a flashlight, not a lantern. A steady glow moving closer. Moments later, it becomes clear what it is.
So guys, I got busted. I'm packing up my gear. I'm out of here. I have to go to the office. These foresters, they have an own office here at the domain, and they took my passport, they took 2 cameras, and we will see if what will be the verdict. I don't know, but I don't have much time. I have to pack and I have to walk all the way to my car that I parked further away, and I have to drive to their office and all this stuff. So guys, I'm packing in the dark. What a boon adventure this is. Completely boring. Leave no trace except big tickets. We will see what the future will bring. Damn. That's my lemon. So guys, this is it. I'm off to the office. I hope I still have my Camp Like a Boon hat. I can't find it anywhere, so I hope I didn't lost it.
That glow belonged to a car. Police headlights. They were looking for someone, and that someone was him. He was escorted to the police station, where filming wasn't allowed. The voices in the video are modified, but we can piece together what happened. They questioned him, checked his ID, and in the end, he got lucky. Just a warning this time, but the message is clear. Stealth camping only works if you remain unseen. The moment you draw attention, with fire, smoke, or noise, you've lost the game. Sure, paying a small camping fee might sting your wallet, but it's nothing compared to explaining yourself to the police in the middle of the night, under flashing lights. Sometimes, the scariest thing in the forest isn't the darkness. It's the sound of tires rolling toward you, and the sudden realization that you've been found. Jenna isn't the kind of creator who goes looking for haunted and scary encounters. She's the kind who finds peace in it. In the stillness, the wind, the hush of trees swaying against each other. Her channel is all about that calm, slow mornings by a river, quiet evenings by the fire. No theatrics, no fake scares, just real wilderness. So when she planned her next solo trip, she picked a quiet patch of crownland, a place she'd camped before, miles away from anyone. It was supposed to be simple, a night alone, a tarp, her gear, and the rhythm of the forest. Her tone was light, cheerful. She explained what she'd packed. Her sleeping kit, cooking kit, tarp, and her trusty little companion, Herb. It was the kind of start her viewers loved. Calm, steady, inviting. The next few hours went just as expected. She began cutting down small trees for her shelter, dragging logs across the river, and setting up a small work area to prepare for the night. The forest around her was alive, but peaceful. Birds echoing from the canopy, the distant rush of water. Nothing unusual. Then, as always, she moved on to her tutorial segment, sharing bushcraft tips for starting a flame easily in the woods.
I wasn't strong enough to throw the logs across the stream without them getting wet, and that's my firewood, so I had to carry them across. I did weigh the risk of me doing that. I know that the river or the stream is like very shallow, and I have extra socks in case I was to fall in. We did get all the logs across. Now that I have my firewood, I'm finding some fat wood. I'm looking for fat wood because the sap and the resin inside the fat wood is very flammable, and that's going to help me start my fire. Okay, there's a great example right here. It's easy to find fat wood when you look for like broken little nubs of branches like this, because when the tree is broken or like injured, it'll send all the sap and resin into the broken spot to protect itself from like disease or parasites or whatever. That little chunk of wood is going to be super resinous, and the resin is very flammable, which is what we want. That smells really good. That smells so good. So you can even see the sap basically dripping down the front of this, and this really warm orange color tells me that it's pretty saturated, so that's good. A lot of you are probably familiar with what this is. This is a bear-resistant bag. So basically you seal it up, you tie it to a tree, and I believe it's like Kevlar or something that bears can't get into. Keeps your food safe from bears and smaller mammals and rodents and things overnight or when you're away from camp. So I put off getting one of these for a number of years because when I'm at actual campsites, they usually have bear boxes, and when I'm not, I would just be like hanging my food in the trees. Hanging food, though, has proven to be a pain in my butt over the years because especially in the area that I live, we don't have the kind of trees that allow you to hang a bear bag properly. When you hang a bear bag, it's supposed to be 15 feet from the ground, 5 feet from the trunk of the tree. And as you can see, everything around me is lodgepole pines, which are straight, thin, have very short, tiny branches. I did finally invest in the Ursac. Obviously not sponsored because I paid for it, but I'm using it for the first time today.
This was Jenna in her element, calm, confident, and self-reliant. But that serenity didn't last long. As the day stretched on, she began preparing her shelter for the night. The sun dipped lower, filtering through the trees in streaks of amber light. The forest, once open and friendly, began to feel heavier. It was around this point, somewhere off camera, that something shifted.
Okay, goodbye to the campsite that once almost was. I don't think I left anything. Okay. Barely got everything in my bag because I didn't fold everything properly. I'm just trying to get out of here. I have half my stuff in my food bag. It's gonna be okay. He's not here right now. This is where he pulled out to. And he literally took a look at me and turned around and pulled out. But I know it was the same car. It was like a white SUV with a bag over the back of his window. And he turned around and I saw that same bag. So yeah, I'm fucking out of here.
While scouting for a nearby campsite earlier that day, she'd noticed a lone man in an SUV.
Just to explain what just happened there. This morning I got here pretty early and I pulled out to the spot that I thought was going to be my spot for the night, and I was getting my backpack, getting ready to leave the car when this white SUV pulled up and this guy walked out, and he walked up to my campsite or where my car was parked, and he was like, "Hey, me and my girlfriend were here this morning and I left something, I'm just going to go look for it." And I was like, "Yeah, sure, whatever." But I wanted to wait inside the van until he got back out of the woods and left so that I knew he wasn't still out there and that he wouldn't know where I was going to hike to. So I was waiting in the car for a while, and it started to get suspicious that he was out in the woods for that long. And so I walked up to his car, first of all to get the license plate, but also to see if his girlfriend was actually in there. But the windows were heavily tinted to the point that I couldn't even see in. But I walked up and around the car, so I would assume if the girlfriend was in there, she would have saw me and been "Hey, what's up?" You know what I mean? So I walked around the car, I couldn't see if there was someone inside. I got the license plate and I went back to my car, and I just got a bad feeling from that. So I drove my van up to another campsite. I don't even if that man meant no harm, I don't like when somebody, especially a man, knows where I am when I'm in the woods alone, or knows that I'm in the woods alone in the first place. Obviously, my boyfriend always knows where I am and where I'm going, but when I'm out here, I don't like bumping into people, especially if it's just a guy on his own, because then he knows that I'm alone and he knows where I am and he knows that I'm vulnerable in the woods. I don't like that. So I was already on edge all day debating if I even wanted to camp out, but I basically, like I said, I drove my van all the way to a new spot. I hid it in the trees and I hiked away from my van, so I wasn't even on the same trail as I was parked near. And then the rest of the day went fine. The sky was beautiful, the weather was great, I was having a great time out there, got a lot done. And then 4 p.m. rolls around and I see that same car.
He pulled up beside her, close enough that she could see his face. He didn't smile, didn't wave, just watched. At first, she thought nothing of it. Maybe another camper, maybe someone lost. But later, as she worked on her shelter, she saw that same SUV again. He parked nearby, watched, then drove off. Jenna brushed it off a second time. But a cold feeling started building in her stomach, the kind of instinctive unease you can't explain. You just know something's wrong. And then, it happened a third time. The man returned. Same vehicle, same silence. He parked, stared directly at her, and left again. That's when it clicked. This wasn't coincidence. He wasn't lost. He wasn't just passing through. He was watching her. This same guy that claimed he was with his girlfriend and forgot something in his camp, but all of a sudden is stalking her. That was his excuse when she finally spoke to him. That he was camping nearby. That his girlfriend was waiting for him. That he'd forgotten something. But something about the story didn't fit. She didn't argue. She didn't wait to see what would happen next. She trusted her gut, packed up her things, and left. It's easy for someone online to say what they would have done differently. But out there, in the middle of nowhere, instinct is everything. And Jenna did exactly the right thing. Because in the wild, the scariest thing isn't the sound of a twig snapping. It's realizing someone's been watching you, quietly deciding what to do next. Later, one of her viewers commented something that struck a chord. Thanks for still taking the time to edit this and put it up, even though it wasn't the trip you wanted. I find it helpful to hear how other women deal with situations like this. It makes me feel better prepared when I'm in the moment and questioning what to do. That single comment said it all. By sharing her experience, Jenna didn't just protect herself. She helped others understand what to do when intuition turns to fear. Because maybe that man really was harmless. Or maybe he wasn't. What we do know is this. She was alone. Deep in the woods. No cell signal. No backup. If he had come back after dark. If he'd found her camp. The thought alone is chilling. So yeah, always trust your instincts. Even if someone seems friendly. Even if it feels rude to leave. Because the line between probably nothing and too late is thinner than you think. On August 13th, 2017, Richard posted a video that describes the expression, "Sometimes you don't even have to step into the woods to experience something disturbing." Richard wasn't a horror channel. He wasn't a paranormal investigator. He was just a quiet musician who liked to upload cover songs from his living room. Nothing out of the ordinary. A few days before that upload, Richard said he had been at home late one night when he noticed movement in his backyard. At first, he thought it was an animal. Maybe a deer, or a neighbor's dog wandering near the fence. But when he looked closer, what he saw didn't move like any animal he'd ever seen. He described it as a tall humanoid figure, thin and pale, its movements jerky, almost like it was glitching through the dark. He stood there frozen at the window, trying to make sense of it. But before he could react, the figure turned, as if aware it was being watched, and disappeared back toward the tree line. The next day, he told a few friends. They laughed it off, suggested he was tired, maybe saw a shadow or a trick of light. And for a while, Richard believed them. Nothing happened after that night. No more noises, no more movement, just silence. So, he let it go. But then, a few nights later, it came back. This time, Richard was ready. He grabbed his iPad, positioned it by the window facing the yard, and waited. He even called a priest. Not because he knew what was out there, but because whatever it was made him feel something he couldn't explain. Something wrong.
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
A little bit. Yeah.
Alright, you're not gonna believe this. I got it on video now. People think I'm nuts. It's on video, it's playing right now. I put the iPad in the window and now this thing's coming up to the steps in my backyard, Mike.
What's coming up?
It's like a weird demonic looking thing and it's like a human and it's all scratched down. And this is the second time this happened this week. And as I'm talking to you, this is all on recorded and it doesn't see me. I'm in that, you know, that sunroom? All right, I've been putting the iPad out. It's around, and it happened. Weird things been happening around this time at night.
At first, it's barely visible, just a shadow between the trees. But as seconds pass, the figure moves closer, its outline clearer under the dim backyard light. Richard's voice is quiet, shaky, like he's trying not to breathe too loud. And then, without warning, the video cuts. There was never a real follow-up, no explanation. No statement from Richard about what happened that night. He never mentioned it again. What's strange is that his channel went silent soon after. No new uploads, no music covers, nothing. It was as if the moment he posted that video, something changed. To this day, no one knows what really happened. Some believe the footage was real, that Richard captured something we aren't meant to understand. Others think it was a cruel prank, someone sneaking around his property just to terrify him. But regardless of what you believe, one thing is certain, the atmosphere of that video is deeply unsettling. The stillness, the quiet, the feeling that something out there was watching back. And maybe that's what makes it so disturbing. It's not just what's in the video, it's what's left unseen. Because if you looked out your own window one night and saw something like that standing just beyond the light, what would you do? Would you close the curtains and pretend it wasn't real? Or would you keep watching until it moved closer? On August 24th, 2022, the YouTube channel Cat Soap uploaded what began as a casual nighttime road trip and ended as one of their eeriest explorations to date. The group, a few friends driving through rural Queensland, were looking for a rumored haunted site, the kind of place that feels quiet until you realize it's too quiet. They joked, played music, and filmed the drive for laughs. But somewhere along the way, curiosity overrode caution. Ignoring a keep out sign, they turned onto a narrow dirt path.
This is it?
Is this it here?
Look, it literally looks like
It is.
someone's driveway. Is that not a number? Like,
Private, keep out. I don't know. Is that private keep out on the right?
I don't know. Let's just do it. No, this feels like that time that Alice and I just fully drove up someone's driveway out in the country because we didn't realize it was a driveway. No, we've done it. We have. We've done it. We
How
have.
do I turn around?
That's a house up there, ain't it?
It said this is
No.
where it needed to turn though.
This is those are house lights up there. That's a horse paddock fence over there. We are on someone's property. I think we need to go out the front and wait for them and make them be the sacrificial lammies.
Again.
It didn't take long before they realized they weren't supposed to be there. Ahead, faint lights flickered through the trees. Building lights, most likely, confirming they'd wandered onto private property. Uneasy, they turned back. They found themselves navigating even tighter roads, the kind where GPS drifts into static, and the surroundings feel swallowed by blackness. The landscape felt more like fenced farmland than public space. They debated whether to keep driving or wait for the others to catch up. The mood was still lighthearted, but beneath the laughter, a sense of unease began to build, subtle but real. They eventually parked, deciding to wait in their car until the rest of the group arrived. When everyone regrouped, they grabbed their flashlights and stepped into the forest. The trees pressed close, the air was still, and even their footsteps sounded strange against the ground. Eventually, they reached the site they'd been searching for, a derailed train, long since forgotten, its metal carcass rusting into the earth. The deeper they went, the stranger it felt. They soon noticed a weathered sign, half covered by vines, a reminder that this area sat near the site of the Camp Mountain Rail tragedy, a disaster that had claimed many lives on May 5th. And then, just as they started to leave, something shifted. From somewhere deep in the forest, lights began to appear, dim at first, then brighter, moving slowly through the trees.
I'm just looking at that light.
It's getting brighter.
That light's getting brighter.
And it's moving.
And it's moving. Is it?
They didn't look like flashlights. The beams didn't sway the way human hands would. The group stopped talking. They stood and watched, confused, waiting for some obvious explanation, maybe a vehicle, or distant campers. But the lights didn't behave like headlights or lanterns. They drifted, wrongly. Checking their phones, they realized there were no nearby buildings, no farmhouses, no access roads, just dense bushland on a dead-end path. Still, the lights kept moving, changing positions, occasionally vanishing, only to reappear closer than before. The forest was completely silent. No crickets, no wind, just the faint crunch of leaves and the pulse of those pale orbs through the trees. Eventually, they decided to leave. Quietly, carefully, hearts pounding but cameras still recording. Later, online, viewers debated what the lights could have been. Some said insects catching light from the group's torches. Others suggested distant properties hidden by the terrain. But with no visible infrastructure nearby, the group left without answers. Only questions. Maybe it was something natural. Maybe not. But after that night, None of them looked at the Queensland bush the same way again. Because sometimes the forest doesn't need to be haunted, it just needs to be watching you back. What do you think of this encounter? This footage posted on 2nd October 2024 comes from a YouTuber known as Saucy Seth, whose channel usually showcases off-grid van living, solo camping trips, and peaceful explorations into the wild. That night, Seth set out to spend the night near a place shrouded in local legends, Tower 12, an abandoned coastal watchtower deep inside Cape Henlopen State Park. Built during wartime, the tower had long since fallen into disrepair. Locals whispered about eerie sightings, sudden chills, and strange noises echoing from within its concrete shell. After researching the disturbing stories surrounding it, Seth decided to see for himself what was really hiding there. He wasn't entirely alone. His loyal dog Stella was by his side, but the conditions were miserable. Steady rain, pitch black skies, and a silence so thick it seemed to swallow every sound. From the very start, something felt off. Seth's tone, usually upbeat and playful, was subdued. He mentioned how different the place felt at night, as though the entire landscape was holding its breath. When he reached the base of the tower, the temperature suddenly dropped. Then came the breaking point. Out of nowhere, something spooked them both.
Guys, my heart is beating so fast right now. We're going down the trail. I don't know. I don't really have a flashlight. Okay, the watchtower is up here. I'm going to show you guys Stella so you can see her, how she's reacting right now. But the watchtower is over there. I don't know if you guys can see it. It's raining right now, and this is I'm not gonna lie, like, I definitely feel like a very dark energy around here. Hell nah, bro. The energy around this just does not feel right. Alright, guys. I gotta get out of here. What was that? Shh. I'll run.
The next morning, Seth filmed a short recap. He admitted it was one of the scariest nights of his life. He couldn't explain what had triggered his reaction, only that he felt genuine dread, something he couldn't rationalize. His instincts had screamed at him to leave, and he listened. Even skeptics who watched the video admitted that something about the encounter felt real. From Stella's behavior to Seth's trembling voice. So what really happened near Tower 12 that night? Was Seth truly chased by something unseen? Or did isolation and fear get the best of him? Could the old tower be more than just a relic of wartime history? Perhaps it holds something darker. A presence that refuses to be forgotten. Either way, one thing's certain. Some places weren't meant to be explored alone. With this last encounter, comes the end of another episode. If you haven't already, let me remind you again to like and subscribe. Also, leave a comment about what you liked and didn't like about this video. We almost upload daily videos, so you better have subscribed, cause trust me, you don't want to miss out. If you want to watch more disturbing videos, in about 3 seconds they will be on your screen. I'll see you there.